You're not like skinny.
I have 3 years to live, like max.
You have a
I'm gonna go to the doctor in 3 days, and they're gonna diagnose me with prostate and bladder cancer. My genes were scraped from the bottom of the barrel. My bones are held together with duct tape and chewing gum.
But what's the river? I don't know. I know the sea, obviously.
It's the Dead Sea, right? And then the what? What's the river? Nile? No, it's not. No, it's not the Nile. Nile is very far away from that.
Psh, these guys don't know basic geography.
Yeah, I got.
We're talking obviously about the Mediterranean Sea and the Nile.
No. Is it like is it like the fucking Euphrates or something?
Maybe.
Isn't that make sense? What's the?
That does make the Tigris and Euphrates, but that would be in Iraq, wouldn't it? That would be.
It goes far. It goes farther.
Henry, what's the river and what's the
Sinai,
sea?
where that boat got stuck?
Mount Sinai. That's the Suez Canal.
Suez Canal, right? So
Yeah.
that.
The Jordan River and the Mediterranean. I was right about the Mediterranean Sea.
The Jordan River.
I didn't. It was not the Nile. That's a different country.
The Nile is a river in Africa.
Unless they also need to free Egypt.
The Nile's a river.
Free Egypt.
The Nile is a river in Africa.
Free Nubia.
It's also a psychological.
I was visiting Egypt at one point when I was like 10, and there were there was like we just visited like this church that was housing refugees from like an ethnic cleansing happening somewhere else
in
Egypt.
Egypt.
I don't remember. No, they were like housing them. I don't remember exactly where they were.
Where the cleansing
where they were
was.
from. I don't remember this. I just remember that I've like visited a church where like these people had fled.
What year is this?
Yeah.
This was in 20. Oh fuck! I was.
You're
2005.
2005. What ethnic cleansing was in 2005?
We should look it up.
Look that up.
I just remember
It's like a Jeopardy question.
being there.
Kosovo.
Kosovo.
Yeah, they're housing Albanians.
That focus needs to be adjusted.
Yeah.
You ever hear
Can't see
that? The Kosovo song is like "Thank You, Bill Clinton."
Yes.
Yeah.
And the statue of him.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the mural.
Campaigns. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
That's awesome. List of ethnic cleansing campaigns.
That's crazy.
Okay. 2005.
2005-ish.
See at Bahrain.
2000s.
200,000.
Go down more.
So we're here with Genocide Oki and Ben from KK Canada.
What's up?
And we're looking at the ethnic
Hey.
cleansing campaigns on Wikipedia.
Niger.
We got them here to.
Burma? Oh, it might be.
We got them here to rank ethnic cleansings on a tier list.
Dude, Indonesia.
Indonesia,
that's
top
the
tier.
one. Yeah.
S.
Or
Would you give it an
Cambodia, where they were killing anybody like an intellectual and like people who wore glasses.
Oh, I saw a
Or,
guy
like,
defending
fair game.
Pol Pot on Twitter.
That's
today,
what we call
actually.
glass aside. Yeah, glass aside.
Yeah.
Of course you did. Your timeline's all people you hate.
My timeline is all people I hate. A guy defending Pol Pot.
It knows that it'll keep you on the platform longer if it keeps showing
You
you.
referred to Pol Pot as algenic. Or angelic, sorry.
Oh, wow.
Angelic.
I thought that was some word you were making. Algenic.
No, algenic.
It was like dysgenic, but like for angels.
I just learned about the Second Congolese War, man.
What happened there?
It's
Is
the
it-
Yeah, what
largest.
happened?
Civil
Tell us
War?
about the Second Congolese
It's
War.
the second largest loss of life in a war since World War II.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, 5 million dead.
Yeah.
Oh
but-
my God.
You ever heard
But
about
how
it?
many of those
No.
were whitey? Well, that's why I haven't
Not
heard
very
of it.
many.
I haven't heard about it then.
That way, Congo is too separated between the Democratic, what's it called, Republic of Congo and the other Congo. There's two Congos.
Oh yeah, the other Congo. You do not want to be from the other Congo.
No, the DRC is the bad one. That was the one that got murdered by the. Yeah, it was the Rwandans and then
Bad
all
Congo, and there's the
Brunei-
good
or not
Congo.
Brunei,
Burundi.
Burundi.
I hope we're funding the right Congo.
Burundi.
I hope
and-
our money's going to the good
Burundi-
Congo.
Yeah.
I know our money is.
We're announcing we're actually going to be funding the bad Congo.
No, our money
We've
is-
taken our money. We're going to fund the bad Congo.
No,
now.
so our money is actually going to the Rwandans. The leader of Rwanda is part of the ethnic group that got genocided in the
Yeah,
Rwandan
yeah.
genocide.
Okay, yeah.
So
So I
it's-
forgot if the Rwandans were doing or they were getting
No, the guy
genocided.
who-
Paul
the guy-
Kagame.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people love that guy. Because like, Rwanda's doing really well.
But the people who did the genociding fled to DRC, and that's why Rwanda is invading DRC right now, or invading the Congo. I don't know which Congo it is, but because they all fled, I just learned all this.
Yeah.
And,
This guy, I sent you a picture one time where he was right next to a Somali guy, and they look exactly the same. Because the Tutsis, they originally came from Somalia. They're really East African, and that's why they look different than the.
Right, so they're your people.
Well, yeah, it's spread out by
So
like
why did you?
tens of thousands of years.
Why did you do that?
Why did we do it? I don't know.
That
You
horrible
know,
shit.
I don't know, man. Why did Belgium kill Lumumba and then fucking try and stop his revolution? You know, like
Second knob.
I blame Belgium. For,
Okay, enough of this fucking bullshit. We brought you guys here for a reason, and the reason was this. Okay, when we founded this studio, we founded it on a couple of simple principles. One of which was stimulants good.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those stimulants that we love to use here in the studio is nicotine. Now, you two have quit nicotine, and
Yes.
you cite it. You have a book that you cite, which we're going to talk about.
You both read
And you both read this book.
Yes,
Yeah.
we both read this book.
And so, but here's the thing.
shit.
So here's the thing, Brogan. I've been waiting until this podcast to tell you, I am also quitting nicotine.
wow,
What?
wow.
Yeah.
You wanted to do this?
This is like news to us.
This is just serendipitous, but I'm not quitting for like moral reasons or anything. I'm quitting because nicotine has started to like damage my body in noticeable ways. So I've been having issues with my bladder. It hurts sometimes,
Okay.
and for some reason, when I vape, it hurts my bladder like immediately.
Mhm.
I feel like a pain in my bladder. And one time I was doing the 9 milligram Zins, and
That's the problem.
yeah, and I think that's actually probably what fucked me up the most. I put a 9 milligrams in my mouth, and I was like, "There's no way this is connected to my bladder." But I put the Zin in, my lips started burning, and my bladder started burning like immediately, like in synchronous with each other.
Wow,
And I was like,
that's impressive.
and I really didn't want it to be nicotine, you know, because I like nicotine. And so I was like, I tried a couple of things. I was fasting. The fasting actually helped it a lot. And then while I was fasting, I took a hit of Nick's vape, and it just started hurting again, like immediately. Like every time I take the hit. So I haven't done any nicotine of any kind. Haven't even taken a little hit here and there.
Since when?
Since like yesterday. But like for the last 4 days, I've been very like I've only done nicotine where I like take a hit. And then even that, it hurts my bladder.
You're like a sporadic. You don't even like own one.
No, I've never
You
owned
just
a vape.
bum hits.
Yeah, I was about to say the whole entire time you got addicted.
But
you
I also think the thing that has been hurting me is smoking. I did smoke.
You did start
I've been
smoking.
Right.
And that I felt it actually when I was smoking. I was like, it feels like I'm giving myself cancer.
Feels like maybe this is poisoning me.
Yeah, it feels like I am inhaling poison.
I was out for a walk with him, and he pulled out a pack of cigarettes and lit one. I'm like, what the?
Wait,
I to be fair,
what brand?
I didn't buy that. My girlfriend bought those and gave them to me for safekeeping, so that she wouldn't smoke them. But then I smoked them.
What brand were you smoking?
I don't remember.
Wait, for
Oh,
safety,
it
I'm
was
not a
something
cigarette
Richard.
guy.
from her?
No, she smoked Belmonts.
Belmonts, I guess Belmonts.
yeah,
then.
I don't
Belmont's
understand the
super
system
expensive.
of like, so that I don't smoke here, you have my
Well, that's what I would
cigarettes?
do. If I bought cigarettes, I would give them to her so that she could dole out like one to me every few days.
Right. Okay. We'll
But-
get into that. Why that's bullshit.
Yeah,
That doesn't work.
I give them away. I buy packs drunk all the time, and then I'll wake up with like most of the pack left and just give it to the.
But they don't want you
guys.
buying. They
that's pretty
quotation
yeah.
parentheses don't want you buying a single cigarette because they know it would work too well. You have
They used to sell singles.
Parentheses,
They used to be
parentheses.
able to just go into convenience stores and get a single
That's how it
cigarette.
should be. Look what happened. Look at what happened to the last guy who was trying to sell single cigarettes. Look what they did to him.
Anyway, point is,
Yeah.
without getting into too many details, nicotine has started harming my body noticeably.
Yeah.
And I thought it would kill me slower. I knew it would be bad. I knew smoking would be bad for me, but I was like, oh, I'll die in 10 years. I wasn't expecting to die now. So I stopped drinking alcohol.
You're always gonna die now.
Yeah.
That's when you die. Is now.
Well, I don't mean in my 20s. Okay.
It's kind of crazy, you know. It's your body changes, but it's the same you behind your eyes the whole time. You're always 10 years in the future. You're always now. It's always just
Same
you.
eyes witnessed everything.
right.
The same eyes that saw your parents pick you up and put you down
So
for the
the
last
time to
time
quit-
are the same eyes that will see the heart monitor slow down as you die on your deathbed from lung cancer.
I wish you didn't say that because now I want my dad to pick me up again. Just one more time. Just so I know. Just so I'm cognizant
You
of
know,
it.
weirdly, that's not one of the reasons why I ended up quitting.
No.
Success-
Why'd you quit?
Was health reasons. Well, I mean, first of all, I am. What's today?
Are you counting?
1, 2. I'm 4 months now.
Wow. Okay.
off.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much,
Yeah.
and I'm very proud of it. The last time I was on this podcast, I was vaping like
Yeah.
constantly throughout
You
it.
can check out that Ben from
The
Canada
first
podcast.
first
you can
podcast I was on too. I was vaping.
You were
Yeah,
vaping,
yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
No way.
So, wow.
So
So,
wow, that's
in the process
And
of
I
this
was-
community existing,
Yeah.
both of you have quit nicotine.
I was vaping throughout the thing, and then afterwards, I had a cigarette outside. 'Cause whenever I was outside, I'd smoke a
I remember
cigarette.
it. I remember it.
inside.
And that was before I smoked
Well,
cigarettes.
because most people at the studio use nicotine,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
and vape specifically,
Hmm.
and there was sort of like negative effects it has on some people who come here and just walk into a vape cloud. You know, that can like be a bit
Yeah.
little off-putting, and so I don't know. I just felt kind of compelled to do it, and then the fact that we're all doing it, it sort of was like that would be kind of cool if we could.
Do
one
you,
by
do you
one.
remember our first conversation?
Yeah.
Okay,
I remember
so
this.
when I first met you, it was like February 2024, and I told you I read that book, and you're like, "Oh, I know about that book, Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Smoking." I don't want to read that because I enjoy vaping too much, and I know if I read it, I gotta stop. And then a few months later, or it wasn't even a few months; it was like almost a year later. Actually, it felt like it was like several months later. You were like, "Yeah, I read the thing, and yeah, I'm gonna be finished the book soon, and I'm gonna stop."
If the thing about quitting smoking, and the thing about quitting nicotine generally, is that it's very scary for everybody. The concept is very scary because it's very stressful, and you feel like you need this thing. And I feel like a lot of people who watch this, you know, there's a lot of people, especially, you know, Canada has a really high like young vaping rate. For a lot
1 in
of people.
4, you were telling me.
No, I
It's
think
crazy.
I was looking it up just now, and like I don't think it's 1 in 4.
Henry,
It's
pull up
something
how many youths are vaping.
Oh, I
Pull-
like
pull that
that.
statistic up.
Go to that fucking wait. Go back to that board 8 elf bar. Yeah,
Ew.
that's awesome.
Oh,
His
God.
face is melting.
Yeah, as it should.
But we're both here to tell you that this book
This book is
works.
I read this book for 3 hours and then I stopped smoking. I didn't even finish the book.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, you didn't
Yeah.
even finish it. I thought that was the whole point. You're supposed to finish it. How are you?
Why is the
Go ahead.
This
why,
is it.
why is it the Canadian edition?
I don't know about the
He has
Canadian
a
edition.
million different editions
He's got
of this
this
book.
guy's like grew up in the UK, and one day he was like he was the worst smoker that he knew.
Smoked
He
like
had,
60 a day.
60 a day. It was
Oh,
insane.
yeah.
And then one day he had like a brain blast. He had, I don't know, some kind of like something clicked in his brain. And he was right next to his wife, and he's just like, "I'm gonna cure the world of smoking." And he put out a cigarette, and he never smoked again.
That's awesome.
It was pretty badass because he just kind of clocked sort of the mindset. He's kind of thought himself out of his addiction because the addiction itself is like more mental than it is physical.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree
Yeah.
with that 100%.
Yeah.
There's a narrative you apply to your addictions that make them sexy. But if you rip the narrative away and just look at the chemical aspect, it's way easier to quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, nicotine leaves your body in 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like people talk about like quitting nicotine as if like, oh, it's gonna be like 3 weeks of really bad like withdrawals, but it's actually no, the withdrawals are only the first 3 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The withdrawals aren't that bad.
Yeah.
And then everything else afterwards is just psychological.
Yeah.
And what that is a lot of what the book is about. It's just sort of unpacking everything that you think, you know, you're like, oh, I smoke because it relaxes me.
Yeah.
I smoke because it helps
No,
me
it stresses you
concentrate.
out.
I smoke because like I'm bored and I want something to do. I smoke because like I'm too like busy and I needed something to distract me from what's going on. Like it's all these contradictory reasons why we smoke.
Yeah.
When like really, you do it because you are craving nicotine. That's
Yeah.
the only thing.
The
The
thing,
only thing.
the thing I remember in movies, like whenever I watch a movie, you see the character, they're all stressed out, they get a cigarette out and they smoke and go,
Yeah.
right? And it's like this intense relief.
Or
No,
like-
in reality, it's not going to give you any relief. You're just stressing yourself out more,
Yeah.
and then in 20 minutes, you're going to be like wanting another cigarette or
Right,
vape
yes.
or nicotine
Alan
of some
Carr
sort.
fucking hates Hollywood because
Yeah.
of what they've done to nicotine.
Hmm.
He blames them actually for most of the brainwashing.
Right.
It's just what we've been sold about it. And not even like that directly sold by tobacco companies and like nicotine companies, but sold by just narratives of what this drug is
Yeah.
and
Interesting.
why people do it at all. Because in movies it's glamorous and it's also sexy, but it's also just like there's a use for it. There's a point. Jesse in Breaking Bad, whenever something stressful happens, he has a cigarette.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, cigarettes help him. No.
Right. I see.
Yeah, they're not helping. Well, the analogy he gives is it's like wearing tight shoes all day just to feel the relief of taking them off
Yes.
at the end of the day.
Right.
Or
Right.
banging your head against a wall just to feel relieved when you stop doing it.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
It's really like.
Yeah.
Is that-
So he uses pure logic too. That's the thing. It's like at first I was like, oh, is this going to be like hypnotism? Is this why it's like so powerful? But no, it's just pure logic. Everything that you think
Pure
about
logic.
about smoking, why it's good, he dispels it
Interesting.
completely.
Okay. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say like, because how are you finding this?
I think the worst part, because like first of all, if I'm going for a walk or whatever and my like breathing fresh air, I don't crave nicotine at all. It's really only when I'm cooped up at the studio. And I just sort of need something to push through a mental block. So that's when I miss it.
Mental block.
It doesn't help you concentrate though.
No, it hasn't helped me concentrate. There was a time when it did. Maybe like when I first started.
That's probably illusion though. That's the thing. Like it doesn't help you concentrate at all, nicotine, because once you start smoking it, then you're like, when you're trying to work, then you're thinking about when can I get my next hit of nicotine.
I would say when I first started, I was just doing a quarter of like a nicotine gum, and it was helpful.
You started with nicotine gum?
I went reverse. You didn't see my meme? Go to my Instagram. Go to my Instagram.
I believe you took.
Maybe Greg's a bad case study. Really.
Yeah,
I'm an interesting case. So like, okay, I got into nicotine from nicotine as a nootropic. Like I was reading about these tech bros saying I was having, I'm an attention deficit disorder fella. This is my meme. Thank you, nicotine replacement products, for getting me into cigarettes.
Yes. Oh, I remember this.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
And it's because like I went in the opposite direction. Like I remember I ended my end point was cigarettes, but I started with like a really small amount of like a nicotine replacement thing.
It's true. You were taking like a quarter of a piece of gum sometimes.
Yeah, and just like that was enough. And I think the hardest part now is that the longer you go without nicotine, the better it is when you do the nicotine. So I can right now I can hit Nick's vape.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, you'll feel it real nice.
I'll
Yeah.
get a head rush.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting any head rush before.
Yeah.
So now I just know it's gonna get it's
That's gonna be good, but then you get stuck in the nicotine trap again.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
It's like.
And the thing is, I would just do it a little bit, but even now, it's gonna hurt me physically.
Yeah.
If I do it now, it's gonna hurt me physically, and I don't like feeling like I'm dying.
Yeah.
I should go to the doctor regardless to see if I have fucking cancer or something. But
Brogan. So what is your relationship to nicotine?
I started smoking when I was 15.
Yeah.
A lot of like labor jobs and like fucking working class shit, and just like always smoking. And all my friends smoked. And then I kind of did the same thing with quitting cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
When I quit cigarettes, I was always like, I quit cigarettes and I was like, I quit hard. I was a pack a day smoker from like 16 to 20. And then I quit hard. I'll still smoke like when I drink, but like I'm like once a month. Like I haven't bought a pack of cigarettes in years. And it was the same thing. I remember I was like, there's a bridge in Halifax called the McDonald Bridge. Goes from Dartmouth to Halifax. Very scenic, very, very famous landmark in Nova Scotia. And whenever I would drive across the bridge, I'd light a cigarette because it takes like 5 minutes to get across. And it's just like a very nice view. And then I realized that's when it clicked. Like, oh, this is a narrative thing. Like I have the narrative in my head, and I realized like I'm using the narrative as a justification to like crave the addiction. So that's like the logic clicked for me where I'm like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. But now I like the nootropic effect. Like I'll never quit like Zins unless someone gives me like tangible evidence that they are really bad for me. I'll never quit Zins. I feel like more concentrated when I use them.
I feel like, okay, so this is a weird thing because Ghosty, you guys are talking about it as like nootropic, like it helps you in a way with concentrating, right?
Yeah.
I used to think the same thing, but I can't like tell you that you're wrong, right? But for me, it was like every 30 minutes I would get up and I would go outside and have a cigarette when I was working, always.
Yeah.
But like it was like every single time I did that, like I would break my concentration and then it would take 15 minutes to get back into my work, and then like in 15 minutes I'm craving a cigarette again, and it's like, it's just this constant distraction. Whereas if I didn't have, right now I don't have that distraction, I'm just working, and the only thing I think about getting up is like to take like a really short break or use the washroom instead of going outside for a cigarette all the time, or even vaping if it's right in front of me and stuff. So
that's why I feel like the Zin specifically, it's just there's no break. I'm just like, oh, like new one, and I'm like, it doesn't break by concentration.
Or the vape, because then you have to go outside.
No, vape. I feel like shit when I vape. I avoid buying vapes as much as possible. I'll buy a vape when I'm like drunk, but I like Zins.
He's bought a vape or two.
I bought a vape or two. I used to be a huge vapor, but
A vapist.
I used to be a huge vapist.
nice.
But I love nicotine. I love Zins. I probably have no reason to quit. I have no desire to quit. Unless there's like a tangible effect. Like yours makes sense, but I have no negative side effects.
I would, to be clear, I wouldn't quit if it wasn't killing me.
Yeah.
But it's just killing me because I have a weak body. My genes came out wrong.
9 milligram Zins are too much.
It'd be interesting actually to get Duncan in on this as well, because
he loves nicotine.
Duncan's very much like, he was on acid once, and he was like, if I'm gonna quit nicotine, it's gonna be right now. And he's like, no. He's like, I don't care. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I
Not that I'm gonna steel man it, but that's how
No,
I
of course,
feel.
of course, of course.
I
think
don't
it's
feel
also-
guilty at all.
It has to be something that you want or you're ready for. I think at the same time too, though.
I
Because
don't-
when I read that book, I was like ready to stop.
Yeah.
Right. So
If I
you know.
smoked, I would be like, I don't have guilt with Zins. I had guilt with smoking. I had guilt with vaping. I knew it was bad. I felt like shit. I got lethargic. I knew like all the negatives. Zins, I have no logic in my head.
Wait,
to quit
actually,
Zins.
one thing against Zins is I think it may have been making my gums recede a little bit.
Ooh.
Oh well, there you go. Well,
How
that's
are your gums? When's the last time you were at the dentist?
I've been to a dentist since I was 18.
You should go. I went recently after not going for like 8 years or something, and they were like, "Wow, you're very lucky."
wow.
is
That's
what they
good.
said. I don't know how I lucked out with it, but my gums are receding, and they were like, if it receded any more, it would be your roots showing. Like
Yeah.
your roots would be exposed, and that was a really big problem. So I don't know. Maybe look at that. Maybe have a look, because most nicotine products are just all bad for you. Because no matter what, you're putting something in your body, and it
Yeah.
comes with something. It's not, you don't just like inject pure nicotine.
I could if I would.
I don't know.
I would
No,
if I
but
could.
But this is the thing he mentions too in the book is that the health scare it doesn't work for people.
No.
That's not a reason to do it. Really, like for a smoker, like in the smoker psychology, which is like all that he's kind of talking about. And I say smoking, I mean like vaping. Any nicotine addict is just there's this thing that like happens where if you're in the trap, like no one can get you out of it by just like telling you that you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's why the book's really useful, is because coming from a guy who really understands you. You know how like your mom will be like, you should not do that, and she's like, you've never had a cigarette in your life. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know actually what this is like. So you sort of just telling me, you know, think about cancer. Think about the fact that you might get cancer. It's like it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like, well, if I'm gonna have a fun life right now, and then when that happens, whatever,
Or
I'd
that.
rather have fun, you know. But like the end of the day, it's like it's kind of just like a cope, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, of course you don't want to get cancer when you're 60. You don't want to die early to enjoy smoking. And the other thing is you're not really losing anything by getting rid of a nicotine addiction. You're just like it's a completely useless burden on yourself. To like for the money that you put into it, the time, that the health consequences we talked about, that doesn't actually work. But if you think about it, yeah, that's
even the feeling of relief is just like
it's fake. It's like a fake relief that, like, you know, I remember I would eat a really nice meal, and then right after I ate the meal, I would immediately really want a cigarette. Every single time. And it's like people who, you know, you go to a restaurant with people and you're the only one who smokes. No one's thinking, hey, I want to follow up this meal with a cigarette. They're thinking like,
Yeah.
maybe get some dessert.
I never got
Continue this
that one.
unbroken with if I would break outside.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck it, I gotta go outside and it's freezing, but let me grab my coat and go outside and like make everybody stand up so I can get, you know, out of this booth so I can go outside for a cigarette, because I have to follow up this nice meal with a cigarette.
Yeah, I never got that. I never got the cigarettes after sex either. That never clicked for me.
What's following dopamine with dopamine?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know.
So
But you can't smoke inside, so
Yeah, well,
that's what doesn't make sense to me about the movies when they have sex and smoke a
and
cigarette.
they smoke inside.
You can smoke inside.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's
In
pretty
France,
Good. It's
you-
pretty good actually. It's really nice. But no, the thing about this, and like the reason that sort of we're talking, and maybe, you know, we're not trying to convince you to sort of quit, but it's like if someone wants to, it's actually like not as scary or hard as you think it is.
Yeah.
So like if you want to, you can do it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Maybe just get this book. Maybe just read the book.
Yeah.
But we're telling you as people who have done it recently, and we were, you know, I was a very heavy user.
I listened to a podcast. These two Australian guys were talking about the book, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I was reading it on. I was on a bus. It was a 9-hour bus, and right before he got on the bus, he bummed a cigarette from some dude, and then they had a pit stop. 3 hours later, he read the book for 3 hours. He gets off. The guy who bummed him the cigarette's like, "Hey, mate, you want another cigarette?" He's like, "No, actually, I think I just quit."
Oh, that's crazy.
Damn. Maybe I should.
It just works. This book for like, but you have to be ready for it, really. Like, I think that's
notice
that.
it says stop smoking, not stop zinning. So you need a sequel for that.
They need a Zin.
I wonder if they have a Zin edition.
They
the-
have an
the Zin
edition for
edition?
vaping
Oh, they
now.
do?
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. I purposely wanted the original advice. I like as a vapor, I sought out the smoking version. I don't know. I just kind of really wanted the original text in its form, with just like Canadian statistics. That's kind of the main difference between the editions. Is it just gives you the local statistics of your area.
Okay.
But I don't. There's something about the I don't know. I just didn't believe. I wanted to hear like his authentic truth about it, not because he's never vaped in his life. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like he stopped smoking a long time ago. I don't want.
I think he was dead before vapes came out.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. Something about getting the original sort of form of it was important to me. But
It's all the same principles at the end.
it is all the same principles, and more importantly, like because vapes. One of the things that he rallies against is sort of the taste of cigarettes. Like, it's a lie. If you think that cigarettes taste good, you're just lying to yourself.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
coke. But vapes, generally they sort of sell themselves on being nice and tasty and slightly more healthy avenues of getting it. But one of the things that he makes you do is he makes, at a certain point in the book, he makes you take 5 really long drags and just like concentrate on the taste and focus on the taste. And I remember like my perspective like just shifting as I was like, this is really metallic and gross and like rotten fruit. I don't like this. There's a very specific emotion out of it.
I read because he has another book for alcohol, and I quit alcohol reading his book too.
Oh yeah.
And he said, go get alcohol and stare at a wall in a room, and don't do anything else that you would usually do when you're drinking. Just put your chair face it to the wall and drink. And I realized I don't actually like being drunk or drinking. I like being drunk and doing things that I already like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just like so eye opening. Just for that exercise.
I'd read the drinking one. Drinking's my biggest issue. It's the biggest block
But
in my life.
Brogan, you love drinking.
I love drinking and smoking. I don't. I'm back and forth. I would keep drinking if it didn't make me fat. That's about it.
You can start vaping alcohol, I guess. But that hits you really hard.
I do, yeah, I agree. There's like, I notice whenever I go out, like I drink frequently, and it's always the third drink hits me, and I'm like,
yeah.
The first drink, I'm like, and the second and the third, I'm like, okay, I can't articulate myself now, and I'm sloppy, and I'm just like a worse version of myself. I only really like drinking if it's like
Brogan over there.
people I'm extremely close with.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're looking pretty non-binary there, Brogan.
Why am I looking non-binary?
I know you don't like it.
They do look very non-binary. Yeah.
Yeah,
I originally started smoking because I felt like socially anxious severely.
interesting.
I remember like this really weird time where I literally had a panic attack at a party. And it was just like, I don't know why. It was just like too many people, and they were all like new people. So it wasn't like a comforting place exactly. And I that was like the moment where I was just like, maybe a cigarette. Maybe something like that.
That's the thing. It's like it's an adult pacifier. Yeah. It's like you have your thing that you can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he like what, my little friend or whatever.
Yeah.
You kind of have like a little relationship with your vape, and you're just like, oh yeah.
Yeah. It keeps me safe.
Yeah.
You know, I started smoking because I watched Cowboy Bebop when I was like 13, and I thought he looked really cool. And then I went to Zambia, and I was just able to buy cigarettes there easily. You know, I didn't need ID or anything. I was like 14.
Yeah, he's such a chill guy. I want to be a chill guy like Cowboy
yeah,
Bebop.
he's fucking
Like Mr.
awesome.
Bebop?
Yeah, with Spike. Yeah,
What they don't show in Cowboy Bebop is him like really anxiously looking for his next
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
or
my
waking
God.
up in the middle of the night and just being like, oh,
You know, at the end of the series, he actually dies of lung cancer. It looks like he got shot, but
it's lung
smoking
cancer.
just got up to him.
You know, it's crazy. I cannot pull these. I cannot cite this out of my ass, but I know this is to be true. The amount that cigarettes cause lung cancer versus the amount of lung cancer deaths from smokers don't add up because heart disease kills you faster.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
So like you'll get lung cancer, die of a heart attack before you die of the lung cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like heart disease is the much bigger killer with cigarettes,
Oh, interesting.
but it causes cancer like at a way higher rate.
Yeah.
causes cancer?
Yeah, it causes cancer.
Did you know that?
Fuck.
Holy shit! It's
Why did no one
carcinogenic.
tell me this?
It causes everything.
They read the Alan Carr book and they thought he's not going to listen to health scares.
Yeah.
But they didn't tell me that cigarettes cause cancer.
It causes everything, dude. It causes fucking ALS.
Yeah.
ALS.
Yeah.
So the ice bucket challenge was
something
for.
Yeah.
I mean, like
That's all I know.
anti-smoking like ads and like reverse propaganda is just like they don't really do a good job of putting it into actual perspective. They
Yeah.
kind of just show like a guy in a like, you know, I remember that one where it's just like this guy just like, I smoked all the time and I'm gonna die very soon.
Yeah. They try to scare you.
It doesn't. It's really hard for a smoker to identify with that person.
Yeah.
Actually, because they're like, well, that's far away.
Yeah, we don't think like that. It's the same thing like climate change and stuff. We don't think about like, oh, yeah, eventually, you know, this is going to be really bad. All, you know, what's going on with the CO2 and all that stuff. We don't think about the future with that.
Yeah.
We think about the heat. Right now, it's fine, and it was cold, and it snowed a bunch
And if I
this
don't
winter.
look at what's going on in my lungs, then like I can just pretend it's not happening.
Yeah.
As well.
No, exactly. Fucking like they don't get it at all. The new ones where they have the warning label in Canada on the this is a Canadian thing. The warning label on the filter, and they have it in French. Some of them, and it says "Les cigarettes cause le cancer."
Dude, that's why I quit right before they implemented that is when I quit cigarettes. So I just saw it on the ground like a butt, and I'm like, are they literally putting that on the fucking
Yeah, I want to
filter?
smoke "Les cigarettes cause le cancer." That's hilarious. I want to smoke that. I quit. I remember.
That's cool looking. Like,
Dude,
that's more of a
it reminds
status
me
symbol.
of fucking
it's in fucking
Fooly
Helvetica.
Cooley. Yeah.
I will say I didn't know that cigarettes damage your organs until my organs started getting damaged. And I was like, wow, this is damaging my organ. I still had to figure that out for myself.
You see the dead baby on the fucking.
The baby did nothing for me.
It's such a mess.
I was just like, oh, the dead baby pack, awesome.
yeah.
We used to joke about fucking
love that dead baby
Leroy.
pack.
You know the Leroy? Leroy? You know that
Was it
guy?
Leroy? Was the 40-year-old
Yeah, he's
guy?
like, I wish I never started smoking.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a guy just like this with a hole in his throat.
yeah.
And we'd ask for a pack.
Pull up Leroy.
If you got a Leroy pack, I always felt like it was lucky. It was like an in-joke between my friends. It was a
Oh,
Leroy
man.
pack.
That's hilarious.
And Barb Tar Box.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I remember. Yeah. Holy shit.
These are Canadian icons. There's Leroy.
Dude,
There should
There
be
he
like a
is.
worm poking like a rotten apple.
I just like it completely blanked them out. You know, like I never. It just.
Yeah, that's just
You
what
be staring at like.
Do you think when he
black,
said, I
rotting
wish I
teeth.
had never started smoking, it's coming out of the hole?
like the South Park character.
None of this stuff works, and I think it's just because you have to sort of. None of them are addressing the actual problem, which is like they're trying to show you consequences for doing that thing that you love. When
Yeah.
instead it's like this thing doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you're literally. It's like you're fucking. You're in a Ponzi scheme. You've been duped. You
Yeah.
think that
You've been
it's.
tricked. You've been trapped.
Yeah, you're giving so much money to this industry that does nothing for you. And you know, you could put into that also that it's also killing you, but that's besides the point. You're wasting money, time,
really the,
energy.
The angle is that I'm being cucked.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're being
Nicotine
you're being cucked by the nicotine. Yes, exactly. Big tobacco.
Yeah.
Is-
You're
is-
breaking out the ropes and kicking the guy off your wife.
There you go.
When you take back your life.
I think they should just put take the warning label off. And
Instead of poison in every puff, it's like, you are a cuck.
You are a cuck.
Put like a diet. Put like a
That
pile
I
of
feel like
poop
would
on
instantly.
it.
That's a really good argument. People use it for porn now, like anti-porn people. They always say like, yeah, you're just cucking yourself by watching another man's success and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's like what Kevin Gates was saying a lot because he's like NoFap, the rapper. Yeah,
It's dark woke. The dark woke.
it's a dark book. Yeah.
Because like
No, I agree with it.
this
Wait,
this is
wait.
this is gonna kill you and hurt you. It's like, yeah, we all like do like a lot of self-harming activities.
Yeah.
Actually, and we're kind of fine with it. What about people who hate themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about suicidal people? They're like,
Wait,
yeah, great.
Wait, Henry.
Not even
open-
like
reopen-
also like just like
reopen that-
overeating
the
or
cigarette one.
overindulging in anything. You can rationalize, be like, oh, I really enjoy this, therefore I'd
The
rather
anti-smoking
continue to live
cigarette
with
ad.
this thing than give it up. But then if you realize that actually you're not enjoying it, then it's like, okay, well, it's kind of easy to just
The
stop.
real crux of it is that like it's a drug that doesn't actually like
Reopen the tabs.
it doesn't get you high.
Yeah.
There should be
Man
the
shift
cashier
man
should have
shifty.
authority. Okay, they should have.
Oh, okay, don't worry.
They should have like a femboy on a pack and it says I'm a gay loser. And then whenever a big guy walks in, you hand them that pack. And then when a femboy walks in, you hand them like
you give him dysphoria?
another antithetical pack to their personality. And the cashier has like has the authority to judge you. They could do it way better.
Yeah. Every
Well, you're running into
demographic.
issues with that because if you're that Sam Cedar thing, all those guys who look like they should be hipsters are debating Sam Cedar. True. On MAGA side, so they don't even look like.
I think
they
that
don't
would
look like
lead-
they should anymore.
That would lead to every demographic quitting smoking except gender fluid people. They'd all die of lung cancer. They'd be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
All right, that fits me
I
today.
see myself in everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pansexuals, they're fine. Pangender people, whatever.
Yeah.
You know the first country that tried to like implement bans on cigarettes in public places was Germany. It was the 1930s. Yeah.
Yeah, the first ever anti-smoking campaign was from Hitler.
And then in the 50s, when like American scientists started to figure out, oh, this is unhealthy, it was hard to like sell it to the public because that was like seen as like a Nazi thing.
Interesting.
To be against the cigarettes.
So the first people who tried to get other people to stop smoking were the fucking Nazis.
Yeah,
and here you guys are proselytizing.
Yeah.
You know who else wanted you to stop
I gotta
smoking?
throw a Roman
Hitler?
right now.
Hey, we like him now, though. I feel like the world's turning on Hitler.
Yeah,
So.
what do you mean we? What do you mean we like him?
Collectively.
You're like, the vibe shifted, right, guys? Hitler's in. And everyone's like, no, not quite.
Yeah.
not that
Do you
far.
think Kanye West smokes?
Probably.
You ever been addicted to anything else?
I mean, if he's on laughing gas, you don't think he's tried cigarettes? He went straight to laughing gas.
Wait, besides cigarettes and alcohol, any other addictions you've battled with?
Quite. I mean, cigarettes, alcohol, weed, porn, Vyvanse.
Vyvanse.
Yeah.
Weed's an interesting
What's
one.
a Vyvanse addiction like?
It's more of a dependence, really.
Dependence, yeah.
Yeah. And then when you really need to like, get something done, then you take way too much of it, and then it's like, oh shit.
That feels a little dangerous, yeah.
Yeah. So, I stopped pretty much the hardest one is porn though, actually,
I could see that.
because it's like, I almost like, oh, I'm gonna go to sleep. What's the easiest thing to do? It's just, and then.
You know how I stopped that? I read The Easy Way to Stop Gooning.
Yeah.
Someone write that book right now. It's a hole in the market. That's $1 million book.
It's like, really look at who you're gooning to. Like, really take it in.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And that was great. I liked I kept gooning.
That's someone's daughter.
That's even better. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Weed was an interesting. Weed, I had the complete logic break. I was like smoking weed, and I was like, I hate this, and just never smoked weed again.
I used to be so addicted to weed, but then I don't know. I quit alcohol, and then I quit cigarettes like 2 weeks later, and then I just ran out of weed at that point. And I was like, okay, might as well quit weed as well.
Damn.
Oh,
And then so I quit, and then 2 months later, I quit Vyvanse, but then Vyvanse, I ended up going back on it for a bit. Now I'm off of it for like, it's been like 2.5 months, but it's like, and then porn is like every other fucking month. I started to stop. There was like a thing where it's like no fap would be like day one, no fap. You say it, day one,
Day one, no fap.
Yeah.
Day one, no fap.
Because the consequences with that one don't feel as intense, I guess. Like now, because like I'm really into running and stuff, I would never like smoke, at least in my head right now.
Yeah.
And I have no interest in drinking either, because that would just kill my running gains. It would kill my gains in the gym and all that. So like,
You're also like productive as fuck.
and also
YouTube.
yeah, and like I would just like the fucking hangovers were so bad from alcohol too. That was like one of the main reasons I stopped. And then the cigarettes too, because I would sit outside and I would drink and I would like smoke cigarette after cigarette after cigarette.
Oh, well,
and
that's
just
a great
be
afternoon.
on my computer, and I'd go through a pack of cigarettes that way. And then I just like wake up and my throat would be all fucked, and I like have heartburn and all these issues, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah.
There's a thing that like just kind of it's the moment where you're kind of like, oh, maybe I should, and you hit that recently. It's sort of just there's this one thing that it's starting to take away, and just the teeters over, and just like, oh, the gains I'm getting from this are not worth the things that it's costing me.
Yeah.
And then at that point, that's when you're kind of like almost ready, and it's just like the book's really just for people who like have a hard time with it or like stress the fuck out about it. They need it, Like if you got to a point where you needed this thing and you found out it was giving you gum damage, you'd probably be at that position.
Yeah. I'm there with alcohol. Like I teeter back and forth so much. I should read the alcohol book. Because like
alcohol book was good. There was one thing because I get a bit of anxiety and stuff, right? Like so in like a social situation, right? So I would think that I need some alcohol before I like started, especially with new people and stuff. But then like he has this thing in the book where he talks about like, well, when you get a bunch of kids together for the first 20 minutes, and if these kids don't know each other, what they do is they're kind of like shy, and they like, they kind of intermingle a little bit, but they're not, loud and rambunctious. But then like in 20 minutes, they get really loud and they're jumping all over the place and they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But for some reason as adults, we don't want to tolerate that first 20 minutes of like getting to know new people in an uncomfortable situation without like a glass of wine or something.
Oh yeah.
I like when I meet a new adult at a party, I yell at their shoulder because I can't stand up straight. What do you think of that girl's tits? I thought they're awesome. that's my first introduction.
Yeah, start rambunctious.
Start rambunctious.
Skip the first
scare
20.
them away.
Or, just filter for the people that like you and that you like.
Yeah, filter the people that like me when I yell. I
Find someone that accepts you.
I appeal.
What do you think about them tits?
They were great.
They're great. Yeah, like, he runs into a guy who's like similarly fucked up. Who's like also like got a slant to the way they stand.
I mean, I appeal to status. I can't help. I'm a little fucking. I look up, and I think the thing with weed is I met like everyone I've met who smokes weed avidly. Every white guy I've met who smokes weed avidly is a fucking loser. I don't know why white people shouldn't smoke weed. I've held that belief for like fucking years.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I meet tons of black dudes who smoke every day and they like have a normal life.
If you listen to enough rap, they like talk about how so many rappers talk about anxiety now. They're smoking blunt after blunt, and they're like, "Why am I anxious? What's going on?"
I mean, I meet fucking so many weed people I've met are just fucking huge losers. Just people whose lives I fucking loathe. But like alcoholics and smokers, I can't say the same thing. I mean, a lot of like heavy drinkers who are like cool people, who seem productive, who like lead cool lives.
Yeah.
Well, just personally, I'm not saying that's a grand truth.
I don't like any of them now.
No?
But I'm not like the people. I mean, like I don't like using any of them. Basically, I was never productive on alcohol. I'm not productive on weed.
Yeah.
I'm not productive on cigarettes. I think the thing that really we clicked is when like 2 months after I quit everything, and I went to New York and I took a plane there, and I was like, wow, this is like normal. This feels normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not getting drunk before the plane ride.
Yeah.
I'm not getting drunk and then wanting to leave the airport to have a cigarette outside, which I've been in that situation where literally I was like, I might go through security just to have a cigarette and then go back in because I really, really want a cigarette right now.
That's crazy.
And also just the plane ride when I remember just being on the plane and like, especially if it's a long one, by the end of it, I'm just like, oh, I gotta get out.
Yeah.
And then, but now I'm just like, okay, well, at least I get to stretch my legs.
Yeah, interesting.
It's just, I don't have these burdens that I used to have.
When I was having like in like the first 2 weeks, I made a list of myself of just all the things that I didn't have to do anymore. Yeah, things I had to do when I was a smoker. I had to hide my vape from my mom. I coughed a lot. I took precious care of how much vapor I took in, so I had to concentrate on that. I would have to go to a window or outside every 2 minutes when I was at a friend's house. If I was at my house, it didn't matter. But I had to go to the bathroom way more often than I needed to, because I would like stealth vape.
Oh, okay.
I hid it in my sleeve and wait for an opportune moment to vape in public.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, I would have to apologize for vaping in front of a person if they were like, oh, then I would have to get that awkward moment. It's like, oh, sorry. And you like feel bad about it. I used to get head rushes. I had people have to ask me to stop doing it in front of them because I would just like assume.
Wait. What's wrong with head rush? I love head rushes.
No, like, okay, if you had the nicotine like overdose buzz, like sickness.
Oh, not the sick. Oh, I've got Nick sick. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick sick.
Gokinaru got Nick sick because Tom fucking poisoned him while he was here.
Yeah.
He gave him 3 Zins.
Oh yeah, that was during
He was throwing up.
Yeah.
I heard about
The
It was
party.
like actual poisoning for like he was upstairs for like 2 hours.
It's kind of glowering at Tom,
requesting blankets because he was so cold.
I was just like,
that's
did you
fucked.
fucking poison your friend? But
I'm just gonna finish my list. But I had to keep track of where my vape was every minute, constantly thinking about how much juice I had and if I had the coils, where I was going to get them, where the nearest vape store is, and when they close.
That's just.
That's the thing about the vape too, is like when it burns, like the coil is burnt and it's out and it's depleted, you get like a really bad fucking feeling in your throat.
The amount of time you get like a good hit is actually lower than you.
Yeah, it's like the first 2 hours of a fresh coil and tank. After that, it just gets shitty.
Then it's just metal.
Yeah,
and that's disgusting.
It's gross. I also like I even have vapes where it's like I don't like it go like the liquid would leave the thing and like go on my tongue and stuff like the.
I do think you're also contributing to the West falling when you vape.
Yeah, well no, definitely.
You're inhaling their Chinese chemicals.
Well, you know the Chinese they all smoke, but they don't die from cigarettes because their cigarettes are herbal.
But for
safe.
What's the Chinese word for whitey?
Oh, I don't know.
For us honkies, they're killing us.
Well, yeah.
For the Westerners,
White ghost, white devil.
White devil.
For the white devil.
What's the pronunciation? How do you say
give
it?
them the heaviest of metals.
Quaylaw? Guilao.
Give the Guilao the heaviest of metals. They will inhale it with their bubble tea.
So my question for you is, right? Because those are all things that I knew were shitty about vaping. I just never considered them as a reason to quit, or at least I didn't think of them as like overwhelming evidence that shows that actually, yeah, this is like way worse than it is good. And then tackling the addiction itself. But for you, right? What do you know is shit about Zins?
Erectile dysfunction.
What?
Yeah, well, it's a restrictive, or what is it called again?
Vasoconstrictor.
Constrictor, yeah. Well, all stimulants are.
Yeah, it's just like if you drink too much coffee or
right,
blow, anything like that.
But it's like affected you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest.
And now you know.
Damn.
Now you know about Brogan's dick.
There you
You're
go.
getting
We
cucked
got
by-
there.
You're getting cucked.
Dude, you literally got cucked by
Yeah,
Big
so
Tobacco.
I get cucked by big. No, Zonics are owned by who owns Zonics? Who owns these Canadian ones?
I have to. It's all the same
They're a
companies.
nice,
that
they're
own
a
all
nice
these
Swedish
things.
company.
Actually,
They're good
I think
people.
this is the messaging. If you are using nicotine, you're getting cucked.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I know
Yeah.
Zins are made by the Swedes, but
No, I feel bad because people who
Zonics are made
people
by
who
the
legitimately
Swedes.
like
No,
getting
fuck
cucked. I
cucks.
don't want to shame them.
They're
No,
good
I
people.
want to shame them.
No,
I take it back.
I'm okay with shaming the cuck.
I'm getting fuck cucks.
They like what they like it.
Yeah. How do the cuck guys feel about the term?
That's
I think there's some things that we shouldn't celebrate.
Yeah, you're anti-cuck.
Yeah, I don't think the cuck thing is. It really shows that you have a healthy spirit or mind. I think that there's something going on. Seriously wrong
Okay,
there.
he's calling you spiritually
Are
deficient.
you looking
if you
directly
like-
into the camera as you say that?
Yeah, I'm sorry to all the cucks out there.
It's Imperial Tobacco.
Yeah, of course, dude.
Made
it's
in
all
Hungary.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Because like the cigarette companies all just bought the vape companies. Like it's the same companies.
Same people.
Fuck, I thought they're the Swedes. I thought
Well,
they're
Zins are certainly the Swedes.
I know, but who owns the Swedes? Who's in the Swedish government?
I don't know. I think the Swedes are.
Who occupies the Swedish government?
Again, it's
Oh,
the Chinese.
Philip Morris.
We can't have anything, man. Tucker Carlson has his own Zin brand.
Yeah, he was the one who really pushed it
Fuck.
really hard.
Yeah.
Like
Wait,
last year,
it's
I
part of
remember.
Philip Morris's strategy to transition towards a smoke-free future.
Oh, they care about us.
There you go.
No, they don't. What?
Thank you,
much is
thank
that?
you, Google AI overview.
These are $17.
Jeez, come on. How long does it last
Too
you?
much.
A day.
A day.
Yeah.
$17
You go through a whole
day.
thing a day?
You know how much that
You
is
know how
a
much
month?
that is a month? You know how much that is a year?
I don't give a fuck.
You know how much that is? And you imagine you put that money in the S&P 500, which is currently tanking.
I would have lost.
Imagine how much money you could have lost in the
You should be
S&P
saving for your
500
retirement.
over the last 2
happen.
weeks if you had put it in the stock market.
Hey, look. Don't. Yeah, you gotta have an abundance mindset with money.
Yeah.
I don't budget.
Yeah.
I
Do you know who Rob Oliver is?
No.
It's this really rich guy who follows me. He's like a alpha male influencer,
Okay.
and I unironically follow a lot of his advice because he has like a lot of really esoteric beliefs about money.
Yeah.
It's nothing's practical. He's like, don't budget, don't save money, just act like you're rich and it comes to you.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate his advice sometimes.
Go buy a Lambo.
I did that.
Get it financed.
And then I had a panic attack.
I've thought
because
about-
I thought I ran out of money. So
I've thought about draining my bank account for like a nice watch before.
really?
Yeah, I've considered that as a serious.
Dude, you
option.
shouldn't have a scarcity mindset. You have to have an abundance mindset.
I don't have a scarcity.
right?
I get money. I've always thought I'd be broke, and it just
you
keeps
have
coming.
You have an abundance of nicotine.
Yeah, that's what I was
You
thinking, like
should
an
just do more
abundance.
of it.
Because like if I have an abundance mindset, I can't die.
Yeah.
So what am I worried
Never gonna
about?
die.
Exactly.
I'll just keep smoking cigarettes.
That's how I feel.
Holy
Unironically.
And I'll have an abundance of
like
cigarettes
literally not thinking about it
of
at
nicotine.
all. I just actually,
I just operate. I don't think about anything.
I just started like actually taking my money seriously, and now I have like more money than I've ever had.
Nothing ever goes
Yeah, I
wrong.
know. Seriously, same, dude.
That's so crazy.
I'll get there. Maybe.
But me and you are kind of like older too, right? Like,
Oh yeah, I guess we're older.
I turned
Well,
I turned
significantly.
27 in like 2 weeks, man. I'm unk status.
Dude, when I was 27, I was fucking like I was out of it, dude. I was like, it was not good. 27 was a bad time for me. 27 to 30, 31.
That's interesting.
That was bad. Bad time.
What about like 18 to 22?
I was kind of wild, I guess, but
It was wild.
I was. I went to a military school.
Okay.
It was a boarding school, and it was like really fucked. And then after that, I just went to a bunch of different schools. And then I don't know. I was the security guard for a bit, but I was like drinking still. Like I started drinking pretty early. I was smoking weed. I remember I was like
a fresh and
22.
fit, but young. The fresh and fit guy.
What they go?
Young, fresh and
So
fit.
AI generated? No, it's real.
Continue. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no. When I was 22, I remember I was like drinking like a 6-pack, and I was like, I have a problem with this. I know I have a problem
When
with
you're
this.
22?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I liked beer so much at that time. And again, a shit ton of weight just drinking beer too.
Beers. Oh, we'll go to that after. Beer's a weird one, but I'll go.
Yeah, no, I really liked. And then I was also smoking. I was smoking from, like I said, when 14. And then when I was in Zambia, and then I came home. And there's a Korean guy who would he looked older, so I would just give him money and he'd buy packs of cigarettes for me. So that's how I was able to smoke. And then eventually just find convenience stores that would just sell it to us. And then, yeah, so I smoked pretty much.
What did you think you were getting out of it?
First I thought it looked cool. Then I thought it was this feels so awesome. I love the feeling of this. And then I was just straight up addicted to it eventually.
Yeah.
And then it was I'd be coffee and cigarettes, man. And I'd be like I would romanticize it.
Yeah.
And
Coffee and
that's
cigarettes are
Somali
pretty good.
Civil War child. Why did you put that?
Oh my god.
Henry's got a sixth sense for finding the right.
Hey, this is full circle back to the start of the podcast.
It's true.
Right.
I heard someone.
Okay, compare with Fresh and Fit that picture. Okay,
Who's
keep going.
who's the Two Bears in the Cave podcast? Bear
Oh,
Cave?
Tom Segura.
Tom Segura. He was they're talking about smoking, and he was smoking's only hot if you're hot. And I was like, fuck, he's right.
That's true.
I've never thought about it like that, but
Compare.
I was a fat fuck when I smoked.
This is a funny thing. Whenever I see someone who's super obese, they have a cigarette, I'm like, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, that's disgusting. You ever see a really short, grungy, balding fat guy smoking, and you're like, oh,
Oh
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a guy in the fucking in Tim Hortons, and he was
Okay,
getting
never
a dozen
mind.
donuts.
It's not
and
quite
he got
as-
a carton of cigarettes too, because the gas
he's
station was
gooning.
and he had black legs. Because his
Oh,
liver
man.
was completely fucked, and he
Damn.
had lice like dandruff, really not lice, really big flakes of dandruff too, and he was super obese. And I'm like,
Damn.
you have 2 weeks.
Dude,
You're
that's crazy.
fucking dead in 2 weeks.
I
Dude.
love.
It's impressive how
Is that Tim Dillon?
some people are just built. It actually looks like Dave
It's
Rubin.
built different.
It looks like
It's like-
fat Dave
It
Rubin.
looks like Tim Dillon. Who would take that photo? That looks like
That's AI, I think.
That's definitely AI. It looks like Dave Rubin and Tim Dillon. It looks like them both simultaneously.
See, Tim Dillon's he's got an attractive face. That's how he gets away with being so
yeah,
fat.
he's got good hair.
yeah, that does look more like Tim Dillon actually.
Yeah. I love Tim Dillon.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good photo of Tim Dillon.
yeah, it's impressive. It's impressive how some people are just built so that their body can be falling apart, but they shamble on. Like someone can be that fat and
Yeah.
they
Just
just
not happy though.
No,
Well,
they're not.
I mean, they're
yeah.
not happy. I'm not happy. So good
You
for
might
them.
be soon. Who knows?
Um,
I think that I don't know. Sort of having the feeling that you need this.
Would you
in
say
order to cope.
you were peeing blood? Is that what you said?
No,
You were saying something about blood. You were. What was it that happened with your bladder?
What do you mean? When did I say that?
It's just-
you were
just hurts.
with the
It just
nicotine.
hurts.
It just hurts.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I put a Zin in my mouth,
Okay.
flared in my mouth, and then it flared in my bladder in the way where I had noticed that it had been actually flaring.
You're gonna be 95 and be like, I think I'm dying.
Yeah, if I make it that far.
I can't eat this anymore. It hurts my liver.
I thought
You're like 102.
my diet is just at this point that's asparagus, Brussels sprouts, and chickpeas, and I'm like the chickpeas gotta go. Yeah, I don't know. I've been feeling really like I have been dying recently, and I need to. I only quit things when I have no other fucking choice, and it's it's basically I didn't quit alcohol because I have a strong will. It's like this or it fucks me up so badly that it's not even a choice.
Oh, this is the thing about this too. Is one of the main things he talks about is you don't have to use willpower with the Alan Carr method.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
And willpower actually is the number one way that you would fail because willpower sucks.
Willpower
Numbers
does
have
suck.
it. Doesn't do anything.
Same with motivation.
And because with willpower, you're basically like, oh, I've got to not do this thing that I have to not do this thing that I like to do.
Yeah.
And then it starts a feedback loop where you don't do it and you feel like shit and you're feeling like shit and you want to do the thing that normally made you feel less like shit, which is have the thing. And then you're punishing yourself because I'm weak. It's a scarcity mindset. It's a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
Scarcity mindset.
Well, that's the thing. Once you really genuinely believe that you're getting nothing from cigarettes, then you don't need willpower because you're not losing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about
long as you
alcohol
get through
too,
those
and
3
everything
days.
else. I just don't. I don't need it. It's just poison. There's no point for me to touch it. You know. So
Interesting.
I have no. I could see it right in front of me. I wouldn't touch it.
I quit binge eating like that as well.
Yeah.
I listened to a whole thing on. I was like a really bad binge eater,
Really?
and I forget. I had this podcast. It was like similar advice to that about binge eating. It was like don't rely on willpower. And it was like very like logical, but like I quit binge eating like cold turkey.
You can logic yourself out of an addiction, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is the way you should.
Yeah.
You did any other addictions besides alcohol or cigarettes that you want to get into?
Who? Oh man. Not like addictions. There's just, there's stuff that you kind of maybe habitually get into.
Yeah.
You're like, this is just objectively bad for me, and like I shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And really, like a lot of the time, you just, I don't know. I feel like it's some of it's saying the same stuff that like a lot of people say, but you kind of are just replacing something.
Yeah.
And covering up for something, a way of coping that is just healthier. And like, I don't know. At the first time, like, cause the first time I was like trying to quit nicotine, I remember just like, I'm just gonna stop one day. I'm just gonna see how long I can go. That was sort of my vibe, which also is a killer. That's a guarantee. Like you're just immediately gonna fold. And you're just like, oh, I'll just take a little break. But I remember the first time I got up like from that. I think it was only 12 hours or something that I lasted, and then I went to go buy one with some groceries, and then I got up to my apartment, and then I dropped my groceries, and I cried because I was like, holy fuck, I'm trapped. Oh shit, this is real. Like I'm gonna need this forever.
Yeah.
Every day. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
And that was like a really scary moment. And then, but luckily that was an important step in like realizing, oh, I should quit. Because you once you get the feeling of being trapped, I think instinctively as a human, you just want to be out of that trap.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who's like, he said that he had no money one time, but he really wanted a cigarette, so he picked it up on the ground, like a butt, and then at that moment he's like, okay, I'm not gonna smoke anymore because I did.
Damn,
It could be anything. It could like whatever.
Yeah.
We both know that this shit helped us because it's just mindset. It's really just tackling the mindset itself.
Yeah.
And it could be a really good thing just for whatever it is that you do. And like understanding that is really important.
Yeah.
And part of growing up is being like, oh, I am gonna die, but maybe I just want time, and maybe like I shouldn't just like do whatever the fuck I want, Greg. I don't know.
Yeah, it is crazy how the short-term pleasures in life lead to like 10 times more pain than anything else.
Yeah.
Really, like if you indulge in them too much, you're just it's a recipe for disaster, really. But like if you do what you're supposed to do, you're like, oh shit, this all piles up, it stacks, and now my life's good, and I feel like the man. And I was doing all these things, these short-term pleasures, because it made me feel like the man, and like for short-term, but off of them, I feel like the man. I feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's powerful. It's powerful when your baseline is just positive.
Which like it's not like we quit because like, we're like, oh, we don't want to be cool anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that cigarettes were cool since, like, I mean, I haven't since I watched fucking Foolie Cooley when I was 14, okay? It's like a year after that, I was like, not really, I don't think these are cool.
Like I'm gonna be square. It's like no, I actually think like my values of like I think that actually what's better and what feels good. Like we're actually feel good maxing by quitting.
Yeah.
It's adding something a lot to our life. I think I feel like better physically than
Yeah.
I did.
No, I feel great. Like seriously, I smoked like for a long time, but my lungs are good, my heart rate's good, and it's like been like a bit over a year and a bit. It takes like, I think it takes 10 years for you to not have the same expectancy of having lung cancer as you would have if you continue to smoke. Yeah. It's like something like it's cut in half, and then eventually it leaves your lungs completely. There's like hair follicles or something on your lungs that grow back. Your mucus like goes back to normal. Everything starts to go.
The black smoker's lung. That's because they were still smoking. Like your lung actually like does like repair a little bit by itself.
Your body is so strong.
It's really good.
And also drinking too.
You're
your
gonna be
liver
fine.
is super strong.
Yeah,
it's not a sunk cost fallacy where it's like, oh, I've been smoking, so like, or I've been vaping, I'll just like eat it.
But on
like,
the other end, you may as well just keep going because you can repair from it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The liver is strong.
Yeah. Although there is a cutoff point. But if you do it if you quit when you're 30, you're probably not going to get cancer long term. But if you quit when you're 50, it's like you have a 50% chance of still getting lung cancer.
because you might not be able to make it that 10
But
years.
Alan Carr, the guy who wrote this book, died of lung cancer. Yeah.
Wait, how long after he quit did he die of lung cancer?
I think
he completely shifted his career to doing this.
Yeah,
I
he died in
after 10 years you were in the
2006 or
clear.
something.
I thought you were in the clear after 10 years. What happened to Alan Carr?
He was older though. He quit in the 80s and then he died in 2006.
Okay, so that's still 10 years after he quit.
It's actually.
What?
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. It's almost like 20-ish. I feel like.
So I thought you were immune I thought you were fine.
Yeah, but he's also like fucking 90. Like he was like he was super not 90, but he was super old by that
35.
point.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he was
70.
72 years old.
72.
There you go.
old.
So he quit when he was 50. In his 50s ish.
And it's funny because he started this whole thing. It didn't start as a book. He actually just started by talking to his friends. He would just like, "Hey guys, you ever thought about like this?" And then all his friends quit. And he was like, "Oh, this is kind of good." And then he started like little centers and like started to give talks and just be like, "Hey, just think about it like this." And then like work with them like one-on-one people, mostly kind of coming into his centers. And then he'd like kind of explain the knowledge to other people, recruit people. And it came this bigger thing. He's like, maybe this could be a book. And so this is actually the culmination of just him like doing this, deprogramming people for like years.
This thing is like the cigarette thing, and then same exact idea he uses for drinking. And I've like looked at the AA stuff and all that. That does not appeal to me whatsoever. Yeah, it's like it's. I feel like a lot like it works for some people, but you kind of have to make that your identity.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, if you become like one of those guys, I got 5 meetings today, bro. Like I gotta go, gotta hit a meeting. Like like all of their friends become AA people. They're all really stuck to the amount of time that they've been sober. Like they know to the day, like and all that stuff. Like whereas with his method, it's more like. Yeah, you've been duped. Here's why you've been duped. Okay, now that you've taken in that you've been duped, do you want it? And you go, no, not really. Okay, proceed. And then you're like, okay, so I don't need it.
Yeah.
Great.
Fundamentally, the decision is about like joy and loving yourself instead like a lot of some like recovery and like drug like AA and stuff can be based on your self-hatred.
Well, you're
just
powerless.
Like, you're a bad person. You have no power of this situation. You've been taken over by something very evil and bad, and this is why you're here, and you're serving out your sentence by coming to the meetings all the time.
Yeah.
That's why he sort of hates other mindsets.
Well, that's the whole AA thing is why we are powerless. I'm powerless over the alcohol. Like they have I don't remember the exact chant that they do.
And he's like, you can just stop. Actually, you're fine. You have power. You can stop it.
Yeah.
I've heard something funny. I had a few friends who go to AA here and there, and he said there's this one guy in his meeting who tells the same story. That's a 25-year-old story every week, and he's like he like shit in the sink. He got like blackout drunk and like shit in his kitchen sink in front of his wife. Just every week he's like, yeah, in 1998 I shit in the sink in front of my wife.
That's every single. Oh, it's coming again.
25 years ago.
Tell the story again.
And that's how I knew I had to quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine, I mean, you telling any anecdote from 25 years ago, that would make sense because we'd be 3 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe it would make sense for us to be shitting in the sink.
Yeah. Anyway, I should read the alcohol book, but AA does sound a little bit too goofy.
Yeah.
If there's other means, I feel like areas where I don't know, like maybe where I grew up, it's just like very small town. It's like the amount of people who are like into sobriety is like 50.
You were saying that like you went back home one time and you're like thinking that you drink a lot, and then you were talking to your friends, and one of your friends like, yeah, I got liver damage. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I drink, but they know it was 2 of them. They were talking about how they're like, oh, my liver hurts today. I'm like, your liver hurts? We're 24.
Yeah. It's
They're like, you've never had that? I'm like, no, I've never had that. I binge drink like once a week. I've never had that. What the fuck are you guys doing?
Nick is standing in the doorframe vaping at me. He's tempting me. He's tempting me as he speaks. He's acting like, what do you mean? He's looking at me with those seductive eyes. Vaping.
Wait,
vaping
now he's
right
taking
at
off
me.
his pants. Wait, now
Well,
he's
you
sticking the
see
vape
how
up
he
his
puts
ass.
his mouth on the tip of it, and how feminine it seems while he's doing it.
So you're saying it's gay?
It's yes, yeah. Yes. You
And how
see
he's
how
sucking.
he's
He's
literally sucking on the tip of a vape.
We need a Nick cam.
At least vaping's gay. At least vaping's no one can make the argument that vaping looks cool. Vaping is just conclusively gay.
Yeah.
Season 2 of True Detective, it came out like when vaping started to become popular, and they're like, one of the characters called it like sucking on a robot's dick. I mean, I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, metal cock.
Rogan, you're one day you might be like, maybe I don't need this, and you can do it. Is what I want you to know.
Yeah.
You it's possible. It's gonna be fine.
I believe
But
in myself.
you don't feel the need right now. You might hit that at some point. Go to the dentist though. Maybe you should try going to the dentist.
And now he's
Now he's drinking alcohol.
Oh
You
god.
got some. Oh,
He's so satisfied.
Now he's kind of doing like a charades thing where he's like, glug, glug, glug,
Oh, he's taking off his pants again.
Now he's dancing.
Oh god.
He's having a great time, man. Wow. He's selling me on this Kingston rum.
Yeah. This is the worst aspect of a podcast because it's first of all it's a podcast, so it's only audio. But even if you were having the visuals, you just you see
We're
us looking in there.
is this only audio?
No, they just see us looking.
Well, unless you're on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm still too agnostic on drinking to quit.
Yeah, I mean, you just get to a point. I mean, it depends where you're at with it.
But like, be honest with yourself when you do. You know.
Yeah, I definitely will.
I quit a few times before the final time when I quit. I was just like done. I couldn't do it anymore.
I do believe I can do it. Like, there's no part of me that like doesn't think I can't quit drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know I've gotten that figured out. I've quit for like 3 months before, and I started again because I just felt like the first time I quit drinking was 3 months, and I lived in Ottawa, and I remember it was like the dead of winter, and I just had like a really bad death in the family. And I came back, it's like -30, and I just quit drinking. I dropped out of my master's program as well. So I had no friends. He had moved to Vancouver for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And after 3 months, I was like, these are too many negatives. I started just going to bars by myself, and I made like bar friends. And I was like, this life is better than my last 3 months. So that's the reason I started again. And I remember like justifying it. And like thinking back, I don't feel like that was cope. Like I really did justify like drinking is better for me right now, or at least like I feel better when I do because I have like some aspect of a social life.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the sort of holy platonic ideal of drinking is that it's like brings you together.
Yeah.
Like if it actually does that, like sure, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I like about smoking. When I'm at a house party and people are just outside smoking, I get to make so many new friends.
Imagine you could just stand there though and not
yeah,
smoke.
but it's kind of like you got to buy into this group,
Yeah.
and they like see you as a person when you ask for a cigarette.
Mm.
And I remember one time I was walking with a cigarette, and this lady approached me and said, "Do you have a light?" And I said, "Yeah." And that was the first time that
The
ever
cigarette
happened to me.
smoking solidarity. You
Yeah.
felt it.
That was nice.
Yeah.
And I talked to the lady a little bit.
Yeah.
It was great.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
I like that part.
Yeah.
I like the social
sometimes.
element of it.
Doesn't Andy Kaufman have a bit about, or like a poem or something like that? He was like at a bar doing a show, and went for a break for the smoke, and the whole bar had just instantly gone up for a cigarette to the point where nobody was in the bar and they were all smoking, and he was like just talking about how beautiful that moment was of like, yeah.
That's AA meetings.
Well,
That's every single AA.
Yeah.
They break every 15 minutes too to go outside for a cigarette, and then they drink so much coffee.
My
insane.
friend went to a sober, I don't know what you'd call it, like a
Detox center.
yeah, but it wasn't like a bougie one. It was like a really gritty detox center.
Yeah, it's like the free ones. Yeah.
Yeah, they told him to never quit smoking.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You ever been to Nicotine Anonymous? They always take the break to go drink.
But it is. I don't know. It is interesting to think like you like that.
well, he's Alan. Just bring it back to Alan. He's like he fucking hates everyone who talks about nicotine except for him because everyone sort of
Yeah.
is just like, oh, it's okay to have nicotine. We're gonna like taper you off. We're gonna.
Oh
like,
yeah.
he thinks that just doesn't work.
He doesn't. Yeah. No cutting it in half. No vaping to stop. No Nicorette to stop. You're just gonna stop. But he tells you to smoke throughout the whole
Yes, but he
book.
does tell you to smoke while you're
Right.
reading it. So yeah, you don't. If you start reading the book, you don't have to stop right away.
It's only when you finish it.
I never finished the book. I just.
I had to finish the book. I was very.
I was ready to stop, and I was like, you know what? It's also because like I quit drinking first and then the smoking, so I think it was like I felt the confidence from one thing, and then the other thing I was felt confident to do that, and then it just kind of like snowballed basically for me.
So cool.
Mm.
Really, 'cause everyone's so different because like I've just heard like really vastly different experiences from mine. I'm like, holy fuck,
Yeah,
people are crazy.
yeah.
This is wild.
I feel like I didn't even get any kind of withdrawal at all.
No.
No, I feel like I never get any withdrawal. Like I sometimes don't even like notice. But the only thing that lingers is if I'm in an environment with nicotine and I see someone smoking or something, then I'm like, I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he
But I
talks
never-
about
I
how
never-
there's barely, it's almost imperceptible. Like, I mean, when you go to sleep, you're not able to smoke. But it's not like you're gonna wake up in the middle of the night like, I need a cigarette, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the first in of the day, of course.
Yeah.
I've been fantasizing about those VidCon parties. Now that we got the spot
Oh yeah, our
booked.
VidCon.
me and
Gonna be crazy.
Actman are gonna go do some Hollywood shit. I didn't.
cool.
I watched Actman party last year. And I did not capitalize on how crazy he was, and I felt like I should have like just stayed with him the whole night.
Oh yeah,
'Cause he
remember
could-
that story.
you could-
Are
Oh,
you in touch with the Act Man?
No, I'm not, but I'm gonna be
Oh man.
We have some stories about the Act Man from VidCon.
because he can match my freak.
He's he knows how to party
Yeah, he can match
for
my
better or
freak.
worse.
We should get Actman.
He got- yeah, let's get Act Man in the studio.
tell Actman the story that you told us.
Yeah,
I would
We-
say
we-
the first time I went to VidCon,
We'll do a
I
Patreon
I got
exclusive
drunk
story
the
about
whole
Act
time.
Man.
Yeah.
right?
I did last year. Yeah, I got drunk the whole time.
This time I didn't drink a bit, and I enjoyed this time way more.
Just kidding.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think actually I really wanted to come to VidCon, but I think honestly because of the US shit, I don't want to go.
You're too
Fair,
patriotic.
yeah, you're
I'm
patriotic.
canceling
Yeah,
the,
hell yeah.
Oh.
I'm canceling the travel plan because it's
Interesting.
in America.
True.
Oh, fuck
You just vacation in Canada, as Justin Trudeau said.
VidCon Canada.
Yeah.
You mean as Mark Carney?
As
Our new
our Prime Minister, Mark Carney,
Our Prime Minister has always been our
who's
Prime
always
Minister.
been our Prime Minister,
That's
and
true.
always will
and
be our
Justin
Prime
Trudeau
Minister.
wanted him to be Prime Minister.
I'm sure he did.
That's right.
I'm sure he would.
This was all his idea.
Yes.
We should go talking about vacation in Canada. Totally off topic.
Yep.
My friend this winter, coming up, he does a job where he goes to Churchill, Manitoba. And it's the polar bear capital of the world because the
Ooh.
ice melting, so the polar bears all invaded the town.
Whoa.
So there's a whole
Ugh.
team of government people
Mm.
who of conservation officers who capture the polar bears, then fly them out in helicopters back to where they belong.
No.
Oh,
That's crazy.
That's insane.
that's a you video.
That's yeah.
That's what he does.
That'd be pretty cool.
I have to, dude. Next time he does some fucking crazy shit, I had to put you in contact with this guy and like just
That's
mirror
that's
him.
really
'Cause he does
interesting.
crazy shit. But we should go up to Churchill, and we'd have a connect up there and just fuck around up in Churchill, Manitoba.
That'd be super. I'm down.
You just do like Grizzly Man. Have you seen that movie? The
No,
documentary
no, I
with
haven't seen Grizzly.
the guy. It's a really effeminate guy who goes into the woods, and he talks to the bears, like these grizzly bears. He's like, "Hey, little bear." he acts like they're friends with him and stuff. He's like, "Oh, you stop that!" When the bear is like behind him growling and stuff, and then at the end, him and his girlfriend get killed by the fucking.
That's such a crazy. The way they're telling that anecdote, it ends so gruesomely.
Yeah. Hey, little guy. Yeah.
Is that tape of them getting eaten? Is that real?
No.
No. That's,
No.
it's so realistic.
Well, he talks about it in the Werner Herzog, who directed it. It's like we had the tape, but we decided to destroy it because no one should see it. But
It was on them getting eaten was on film.
yeah, he filmed everything.
That's crazy.
It's Werner, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so funny. It's like it's horrible, but at the same time, it's one of the best comedy movies of all time because the guy is like he seems like the gayest dude ever, but he's straight, but he's just really funny and like
He looks
delusional.
That looks like a Trailer Park Boys character.
Yeah, he's completely delusional. He thinks that the
man-
bears are his friends. You know, he cries when they started killing each other, the bears, and then he starts crying for them and all this
Yeah, that's
stuff.
sad,
And he was
yeah.
like, yeah,
Typical though, because they're giving these bears private jets that are contributing to climate change. They're flying the polar bears back on their private jets. If you look at leading cause of climate change, it's polar bears.
They have to-
We should tax them.
They have to
tax the polar bears.
They have to kill. They have a rule. So if a bear, they fly like 1,000 kilometers away, it'll
Uh-huh.
come back. If it comes back 3 times, they have to kill it.
Oh,
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
it's not. It's not learning.
No, it's a bad. They
We
call
should-
them,
we
they,
should-
they call
we
them
should-
bad bears.
We should do that with immigrants. you can fly them back. You come back. We deport you again, and then at a certain point, they're not learning. Okay, so Ben, that one day you came into the studio, and you were like, I want to know how long, how far in your journey was this? You were like, I'm really cranky. I think it was like 2 weeks. 2 weeks after you quit.
Yeah.
You were like emotionally affected by it like 2 weeks. 2 weeks after. or
Yes, I
something like
was.
that.
Well, I don't know. The process, like, it was a little painful, but like I honestly believe it's because I wasn't ready to entirely. I think that like there's sort of an amount of this that you can like swallow and digest the entire mindset of it. And
Yeah.
if you get it all, or if you're ready enough, you're not gonna feel it all. Truly, it's just like I'm very like susceptible to that.
I felt it sort of like, but like the urges would pass pretty quickly.
Mhm.
But yeah, I felt like I was strong enough to not just like when I had those urges. I started eating a lot of baked goods around that time.
interesting.
I gained like 20 pounds in like right after I quit smoking.
Oh, interesting.
Because I was like, I just kept getting like fucking
I've been getting into sugar.
sugar. You've been getting
last week.
You say it like it's
Because like I don't normally eat sugar, but I've been like I get a little like gluten-free donut here and there.
Yeah. I never ate any. The whole time I was smoking, I never ate a single donut or a baked good at all. I was like, what's the point of this? The only thing I would eat, the only reason I would eat is because it felt good because I would smoke after a big meal, right? That was like one of the main things.
That was the best part of eating.
Yeah, it was the best part of eating. So I never ate any sweets or anything. But then after I quit smoking, I was like, okay, let me just get a box of Danishes. Yeah, this is really good. I really like these.
yeah.
No, it's I don't know. Every time I get a craving now, I only crave like at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Only for like 20 minutes to an hour, and like
This
literally
4 months? You used to quit?
Yeah.
Before? Yeah. Okay.
and
Yeah.
but like that started happening really like more quickly than I thought, because there was just points I would like will forget a little bit, and just the more I would sort of like fixate on the thing instead of kind of trying to move on to something else. It's not like don't think about smoking. It's just like just like move on. Like wait actually is the way that
Or just drink water. That was the thing that helped for me.
If you get a craving, I'm just like, I could just wait a little bit, and then it goes away, and I forget about it.
Yeah.
Truly, is how easy it ended up being. Now, I also had a lot of support from like my family and stuff, and having your family tell you, "Hey, you like this is great. This is awesome. This is so good." Like having your family like not go like, "Oh, how are the cravings?" Like that sort of is the negative reinforcement.
Yeah.
Like I just sort of said to everybody like, nobody let me complain.
Yeah.
Just say you're doing great and this is awesome.
Yeah.
And that was a really
Yeah,
helpful thing.
that really helps. 100%.
You know what? I enjoy movies more now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just vape during movies.
Dude, that was the thing. I got kicked out of Birdman. I was vaping. The theater was completely empty for one guy, and it was me and one guy who was like 3 rows behind me and on the other side of the theater. And he got up, he complained. The girl comes to me, and I'm like, I was vaping, and then she's like, excuse me, you can't be vaping. And then she looks at my cans of beer, and she's like, you can't be drinking either. And then they kicked me out. It was like months until I saw the end of Birdman.
That's a rough one. I had a friend who got kicked out of an East Side Mario's
Why?
for being too drunk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I feel like there's things like that would be my lowest low. Getting kicked out of East Side Mario's.
Yeah. Don't they serve alcohol there?
I know he got banned.
Got banned
He
from
got
these-
banned from East Side Mario's for
Too
being too
drunk.
drunk. He was trying
Damn.
to fight waiters.
Is it? But
Oh,
like,
shit.
look at Don Draper. He's watching movies,
He
smoking a
looks
cig.
so cool
He
smoking.
looks cool. I'm sure he's having a good time. He's probably more into it.
That's because he's a movie character.
But you think about it, like think of it, you're smoking and then you blow out smoke out of your. You're like a fucking dragon. It looks cool, right? But it's not.
Cameras love smoke.
Yeah, yeah. It looks fucking yeah.
This is what's funny, because as a movie person, there are some things about the visual form and language of cinema that are like maybe not good. They're not useful.
No, they make them look so seductive.
Well,
Like,
because for one, smoking just like objectively looks cool in the cinema camera because of how much it's been baked into the language. The reason that you see movie characters like smoke when they're stressed is because that was like a normal thing to do.
It's like,
And
it's
so
like a
they filmed
simulacra.
that.
It's like a fourth order simulacra.
Yeah, it's literally like a weird thing from the 50s that's just stuck around.
Yeah.
I don't know, 50s. I don't know. I just threw that date out there.
well, that at that time it was 85% of men smoked.
Yeah. So it's like it would be weird if there wasn't smoking.
Yeah.
But now it's like I don't know. It doesn't need to
No
be
one
there,
smokes
but
anymore.
it's baked into the language because it's part of the history for so long. Another weird thing I noticed, because I was watching Wicked, and
Yeah.
movies. So there's a character who like is in a wheelchair, and in the show, in like the live show, basically, at a certain point, because she's like the Wicked Witch of the East, you know, who like gets these shoes and then she can like get out of the wheelchair, and I just kind of realized like, wait a second. the language of cinema, when you show a character being free, they're like moving around a lot and they're like jumping, and I'm like, that's kind of ableist.
Yeah.
It's kind of ableist to like have like the visual meaning of freedom to be something that some people just can't do.
Yeah, not wheelchair.
That's
not
actually kind of
wheelchair
shitty,
bound.
and that's baked into the form itself.
Yeah.
That's a little weird. I don't know what to do about that. It's a little strange though.
I think that's the most left-wing thing I've heard in a while.
Well, just think about it. Like, I'm not like just like if you have like a character in a wheelchair who like is an actor who I'm in a wheelchair, I can't visually show like that I'm happy in like the way that you would in a cinema.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
And the
yeah.
visual language of smoking is the same.
I gotta move.
Do you know
here.
what I mean?
Tom Cruise in Born on the 4th of July. Okay, he was a Vietnam veteran, and he was in a wheelchair, and he embraces the wheelchair. And at the end, like everybody's cheering for him, and he's rolling, and he's free. He's fucking free.
That
All
works.
right.
That's an non-ableist way of doing it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I was also thinking of Lieutenant Dan when he's like,
Oh yeah.
like actually that's like really like full elation and
Yeah.
beautiful truth, and he's like in peace with God in that
Yeah.
moment. Actually, maybe it's fine. I don't know. I was just thinking about that in context of Wicked. It's strange. I don't know. Because apparently they're gonna like they've done this like effect to the actor who actually uses a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like they've like CGI'd her like floating or walking or something. I
Oh.
don't know how that's gonna work. It's like
So they got an actual wheelchair person and then made the thing into.
yeah. So
That's a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit more
I
ableist.
we'll have to see it, but like I'm just like, like I don't know, it just made me kind of skeptical of the whole idea of like having a person like get cured of, you know, their problem.
Abnormality.
Yeah, their abnormality.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of gross. That's in a lot of stories, you know.
Yeah. No, the visual language of smoking is
I always thought like the actors when like the character's meant to be particularly grotesque or like really overweight or something, and then that's in the scripts like fat girl number 2, right? And then they cast that girl who in real life is fat, right? Like how does the actor feel about that, right? Or do they just like compartmentalize it? Like yes, I am. Well, this is my type, and this is what I get hired to do.
Who was the guy from My Name Is Earl? Ethan Lee?
Oh, Jason Lee.
No,
Oh no, the big guy.
the big guy.
Oh, the one who's Jack now.
The one is Jack now.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
He all of his roles. I don't think he does movies anymore, but all of his roles, because he was in American History X as well.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
But all of his roles, he was like, I'm like, this is my niche in Hollywood. Is I play a disgustingly fat guy.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and now he's fucking jacked. But
Yeah.
he was like 400 pounds. He was in
Holy shit.
he was a fat Nazi in American History X.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's the song he's listening to in the van in the movie?
Yeah, and from what I
Even
am
simply.
aware of, most of the attitude is just like I'm getting paid. Yep, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
kind of a
assume.
shrug. It's sort of
Well, because I took acting classes when I was like way young, like 15, and the guy there's like, we have a rule that just came in, and it's for a starving African child.
Oh,
And I was particularly skinny at the time. It's like, you would do very well as a malnourished child. I'm like, wow, okay.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you. My first big break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. Do you have loose skin?
I have stretch marks.
You have stretch marks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do, yeah. But I think they start to go away, but like also it's like I kind of see like it's not as bad as because that guy was way bigger than me when I was at my biggest I was 225,
Yeah.
right? So and all of my weight went straight to my stomach, right? So yeah, I have like tiger stripes basically, but at the same time it's like it's
sick as hell.
I lived. It's a
Yeah.
reminder for me that this is like I transformed.
I feel that. I don't. It doesn't bother me too much. When I'm 208 now, my leanest was 172, down from 270, and that's what I noticed. Like I wasn't like jacked, but my nipples are never gonna fit on my body correctly. And I noticed like I was looking in the mirror, my nipple was like down here. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. It's never gonna happen.
I mean, there are things. If it really bothers, there's things that can be done for it. I know
it doesn't.
for this, there's like laser I could probably get, but I don't see. Also, the more I get bigger in the gym, the less it'll show.
Yeah.
Basically, because like my muscles start to fill it up. Basically.
Yeah. It doesn't.
So 2 years from now,
There's one.
inshallah, then we're gonna be jacked.
I had
Maybe
this
let's
one
see.
picture of me. I'm like on a. I had this staircase in my old place that went up to the attic, and the attic was a room where we hung out, but the staircase was in the middle of the room, so you could sit. I would like lay over the top of the staircase, and I had a friend take a picture of me. We were all drinking, and it's great when I lost a bunch of weight really fast,
Yeah.
and you can physically see like my butt cheeks are flaps
Ah.
because I lost weight so fast, and it was just like loose skin, and I was like,
Holy,
that's horrible. That went away, but I was like, that's awful. I'd rather be fat than have like butt flaps.
No. That's the Gaunt Ozempic phase is because it's people lose way too much fat really, really quickly.
Yeah.
So then it gives this kind of sunken look, right? Where you have really cavernous eyes, like around your eye and all this stuff. It's like, well, you see like H3, like he kind of looks sick now.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight. Really
He lost,
fast.
but it's too fast. You're supposed to lose like
Was he on
much
Ozempic?
longer time.
H3 Ozempic?
I don't know if he was on Ozempic, but he does kind of. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure he is. He lost because he was fat for a while, then he lost.
Yeah,
I
he
was
did it, but that's the
Craving
Ozempic look.
nicotine,
It's
so I
too.
decided I'd put sugar and salt in my mouth.
There you go,
What do
dude.
you mean?
Salt.
I buy these pepperonis for one reason. There's no sodium nitrate. They're not preserved. It's not preserved processed.
Yeah, but there's sodium.
Nice.
I mean,
But sodium nitrate's the one that causes cancer.
yeah, I'm
That's why
not.
you
I'm
can't
not
eat
saying.
processed meat.
You know what else causes cancer?
Something bad for myself.
Alcohol.
Cigarette nicotine.
Nick's returned to the door frame, making intense eye contact with me. I don't want to drink. I have no desire to drink, and you're not making drinking look fun to me.
Greg's never drank around me. I've seen you have
Yeah,
one
I've never
drink.
seen you
I
drunk.
ordered you a vodka soda at a bar one time, and you drank it, and you're like, oh, I didn't feel bad, and you're like, what is this again? And I was like, really surprised, you didn't know what vodka soda was.
Sometimes I see Greg's habits and just the way he is. I'm just like, when I thought that you said you pissed blood from smoking, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It's just Greg is weird. It's just,
Greg's got a fucked up body. I do.
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
fucked up body. Things affect me weird.
yeah.
I think it's less fucked up than you think. I think
Rogan-
you look extremely
Rogan has
healthy.
a conspiracy
You
theory
are
about me
very, yeah.
that I'm like very normal.
That's why
I'm just like a normal guy, and
You've
I've
just psyched
convinced
yourself
myself
out, yeah.
that I'm a strange man.
Yeah.
I stand by it.
Yeah.
I stand by. You don't look like.
I was once like bored, like an inch away from a full psychotic break, and I was like yelling, and Brogan was like, "You're a normal guy."
That story has so much more context that backs me up versus your story.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. You're not pale. You're not a mass. You have muscle mass. You're not like skinny.
I have 3 years to live, like max.
You have a
I'm going
six.
to go to the doctor in 3 days, and they're going to diagnose me with prostate and bladder cancer.
Oh, no.
You have a six pack, but you're also not emaciated. You have muscle mass, and you're not pale. You don't look tired.
My jeans were scraped from the bottom of the barrel. My bones are held together with duct tape and chewing gum.
But
I have arthritis.
that doesn't make any sense because you're so mixed that you think it'd be the opposite. Mixed people like are way healthier.
No,
But, like,
outbreeding
racially
coefficient.
mixed?
It's like
Yeah.
the inbreeding coefficient, but you can actually have bad genetics if you outbreed too much.
Can you?
Yeah.
You're pulling that out of your ass.
No, look it up. Racists love this stat, but
I
it's,
just
it's a
pictured
true
you on a
stat.
battlefield.
You have
with a
bad
helmet,
genetics if you
a
outbreed.
bomb going on next to you.
If you outbreed too much, obviously inbreeding is bad, but you can
was
outbreed
just-
too.
But
Yeah.
you're not outbred too much. You're like loosely Arab. You're like loosely Levant.
Oh, I'm more than just
Levant.
that, baby.
I'm inbred.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
We're both, what, 100%?
Yeah, we're both 100% our
Yeah.
ethnicity.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
I have crazy inflammation. I cured my arthritis with fasting.
I don't even know, because the thing is, like, I am literally 100% Somali, so yes, there was inbreeding, but I don't know, other than maybe ADHD, what the thing would be. And, like, ADHD, and then, like, addictive personality, and then I'm colorblind, But- I don't really have any other things that, like, you know.
My face looks weird. If you look at it, if you look at the structure of my face for too long, you'll see it. You'll be like, oh wait, he does look kind of peculiar.
And he's always
I'm gonna
red,
give you a
too.
JD Vance edit.
I'm red. I got a big nose. I feel like I've never seen another man that looks anything like me. But I'm not ugly either. So this is where I'm like, there's an issue. There's something wrong.
Or
Like,
maybe you're just like supremely good looking.
no, when I see like the Habsburg Empire,
but they have
portraits, I
the-
relate to them a little
The
bit.
jaw. Yeah. You don't have, like, the
Pull up a Habsburg.
fucked up jaw that they have.
No, I don't. I'm not the. Yeah, pull up a Habsburg.
But you have the thing is, there's like 1,000 guys named Abdullahi who look exactly like me.
Yeah.
So yeah, like,
There we go.
Jeez.
Is that a reconstruction?
yeah.
Oh my god. He looks like that. He looks like those kids with fucking that disease.
Progeria?
Yeah, where they age backwards. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Fetal alcohol syndrome. Sorry, we're so off topic now. Fetal alcohol syndrome was a big pill for me.
Dude.
Because I found out about it when I was 14, and I went to school the next day, and I was like, oh fuck. That's like 10% of you kids.
Yeah. No, I noticed this when I went to your hometown, and
You noticed it?
I noticed everyone had fetal alcohol syndrome.
What's
Everyone's
that?
parent, yeah.
Why is there such like a drinking culture in where is it, Truro?
Truro, Nova Scotia. There's just nothing else to do. You just start drinking young. Everyone's broke and fucking has broken up parents, and it's just a greasy, like, low income town.
Damn.
There's like no wealth there at
It's
all.
like every party, everybody's like fucked up.
Pretty much. Like there was like an elite kind of group, like the band theater kids did okay.
Yeah.
But anything besides that, any party I went to, it was like I was using not like a lot of drugs frequently, but I had done a lot of different drugs by the time I was 18.
Yeah, same.
And just like, I don't know, I like just knew people who were, it's a dirty town. It's like dirty, low income town. It's not unsafe because there's not a lot of like guns and stuff like that, but it's just like, it's like Trailer Park Boys has a lot of truth in it. It's based off of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. And they made that show, the first season of that show, and all the characters are based off people they knew, and they made it for people in Dartmouth to find funny.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much truth into like what the not so much anymore, but definitely growing up. Before like Nova Scotia, people started like moving there. There's a lot of truth in it.
I found like the older I got, here in Ontario especially, like I would be drinking and I'd be like the only one drunk at parties eventually.
Dude, when I moved to Ottawa, I was like that.
And then I was like, oh, this isn't good. Why am I the only one who's getting? Why won't anybody want to get drunk with me? Like I was like, I really wanted to get fucked up, and I wanted everybody to get fucked up.
I feel that so much, man. At the parties we have here, it's like me, Duncan, and Nick at the end of the night, the troopers.
And Duncan doesn't really even get that drunk. I've never
Duncan-
seen him drunk.
I know he gets like 12 beer and drinks 3.
Yeah,
Me and Nick, though.
Nicky, you and Nick are.
And Brogan gets into a yearning kind of mood where he wants to have some hedonistic fun with friends.
Yeah.
You'll always try to get me to drink every time without fail. And I never want to drink. And
I'll do it with
you always want to like get a group together and
Get-
There's no nicotine. I'll
get
do
them
it.
drinking.
Yeah, I love getting groups together and getting them drunk.
That's what I like. I always felt like, I would want people to drink when I was drinking. I feel, I don't know, like
Pull up that hedonistic.
it's not as
satire.
fun.
It's like when
right?
someone has a bag, and they're like, they get really philanthropic with their
Let
bag.
me read
Yeah,
this back.
yeah.
Like, take a bump, please take a bump.
Yeah.
No, I want that magic card.
I've got to the point where like I would tell people, I'd be like, I don't want any. Like, even if you pick it up,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
tell me.
Yeah.
And then they'd get it and be like, come to the bathroom with me. You're coming with me right now.
Mhm.
And they start demanding me to go to the bathroom with them to do a key bump.
I was
Down.
a big party animal in Scotland, and there was this like very strange sense of just like the party. It's like this weird like evil almost like thing like
What do you
hanging
mean?
over.
Yeah,
Of just
it's
like
like
the
an
party's very important. It's very important that we're all fucked up right now. It's really good that we're all fucked up now. And I don't know what that is, but I don't like it.
It's crazy.
It's really weird, and it's really like it sucks you in.
It does, man. You facilitate it, you get the music going, you get people drunk, you get them fucking on coke, you get them fucking stoned.
Which like yeah,
I used to
beautiful people coming together, but like there's a weird drag in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I know the party.
The party, yeah.
No, I
You know what I'm talking about.
I know
You know
what
what
I'm talking about. The party. Oh my god, dude.
I took you back there. I see where you're at right now. You're like, oh.
That's so psychedelic, man. Like the egregore of the party.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's like the platonic ideal. The concept of the party. The big game. The big game's tomorrow.
But like, I think they're taking away that actual beautiful social human thing by infecting us with something that we don't necessarily need to have the party.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I'm bordering on being agnostic to the party. I did hear recently that like because our Gen Z and like young people drink way less than any other generation.
Yeah, why is that?
I just
It's cringe.
out of my ass.
Is it just cringe?
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's that people are just like antisocial. I think they're not in
yeah.
places where they would drink.
I agree.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think it's health con. I think it's
I
like
don't think.
people
Yeah,
don't
I
feel
don't
old
think.
anymore.
I don't think that's a positive sign for various reasons. One of which I think there's also way more drugs.
Yeah.
Access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, it was like you'd watch movies like American Pie, and the whole point of those movies where they're getting drunk, they would get drunk, they'd have parties, and they'd have sex, right?
Hell yeah.
And like that was every like teenager coming of age movie
Yeah.
was about like the party and getting drunk. and
Yeah.
doing debaucherous shit. And then eventually it just kind of became, I don't know, like the last one was that fucking, what was it X? Something X?
American History.
Project X?
American
No,
History
no,
X.
it's Project. I think it was Project X. Yeah, not American History X. Okay, no, yeah. And I think that was the last one where it was like the movie was all about this huge big party that kids threw, and then it just became kind of like, I don't know, Pineapple Express, and like, or just kids chilling and smoking weed became the main thing, I think.
Yeah.
But we did all of them when I was younger. We did, we drank, we smoked cigarettes.
If there was like a true movie representing what the youth are doing today, there should be like, they shouldn't be in the same room. They should be playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
They should be doing the drugs, obviously, but
Yeah.
I want to see a movie where it's like 6
Yeah.
teens who've never seen a woman.
They're just all they
playing Fortnite.
and they're just all on Adderall. So even
Yeah,
if
on
they
Adderall.
saw a woman, they wouldn't be able to perform because they're addicted to porn and Adderall.
Because that's fucking reality. Why don't we make art about reality, about things we have like this? Our idea of reality is so warped by media.
Yeah.
Because that is nobody's experience.
No, it's not
anymore. No.
Yeah.
Even just like just being able to chill with your friends and smoke weed is like that's on the way out, buddy. Like the reality for youth is much darker.
I know.
Actually-
I want to see somebody think that they're asexual as they hit puberty because they're on so much Adderall. They and all they do is be on the internet, and everyone on the internet's like, "Yeah, you're asexual. It's totally normal," but they're just on Adderall. I want to see that story play.
Why am I asexual but watch porn?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, yeah, there's a thing where like women used to do, it was like 23% or something. I saw a stat where it was like 23% of women in the early 2000s drank. And then once the wine mom thing was pushed by marketing, like alcohol marketers, it went way up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so female drinking deaths went way up. And all of those things. But it's like, yeah, it was straight from the media and like, from marketing. The wine mom
Wine
culture.
mom, wine aunts, wine uncle,
Have a little
wine
Chardonnay.
child, wine baby, wine baby. Here you go.
I went from casual wine mom to full-blown alcoholic.
Damn.
That's the thing with alcoholism. You never see it coming. I did.
I did.
There's this song called "Never Get to Know" by Paul Barabeau. It's like a folk punk song, and he's like about my mom. He's like talking about how much he loved his mom, and then she became an alcoholic, and she's like, oh, and she never saw it coming. And that line always sticks with me because I think about myself, and I'm like, damn, I wouldn't see it coming. I would just. My friend told me about that when it was AA meetings. There's a lot of guys who are like, one day I just started drinking at work.
Yeah.
A month later, or like a year later, my wife divorced me. I didn't have a house anymore, and like,
The
yeah. Like I just like didn't expect that to happen.
I
And like
remember
at 37, but here we
The
are.
time I smoked a cigarette, I was like, this is gonna be really bad for me.
Yeah.
this is gonna go down a dark path quickly.
Yeah, man. It's when you met me, man. We were at that party. You smoked a cigarette.
I don't remember that.
You and Max smoked a cigarette.
Don't remember it.
Oh, I watched you both smoke a cigarette in front of me.
He has this story he keeps telling me where I did drugs that I never did.
Damn.
He did drugs and everything.
fried your brain, bro. You don't remember.
For 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks of knowing him, we were up at 5 a.m. at a house party, and he was destroying his temple.
Damn, dude.
You guys are such a married couple.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That was adorable.
I'm doing a stream at 7.
Yeah,
so
we've gone an hour and a half.
No.
Don't have any Patreon questions.
No,
for this
I
one.
forgot to put
We gotta get more on the ball with the Patreon questions. But
sorry, patrons.
Buy this book. Read this book.
Yeah, it's a great
Get the
book.
PDF on Google or whatever.
Yeah.
It's there. If you want to stop. If you don't want to stop, that's fine. But like, be honest with yourself if you ever want to stop. Because
Yeah.
we can do it. You can do it. We
Yeah, you
did
can
it.
do it,
I
yeah.
thought it was going to be impossible, and I did it.
it is quite impressive how 2 members of the studio just read the book and stopped.
I also quit, and then like the worst thing ever in my life happened to me like immediately after, and I still didn't do it. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that's
I've been
shocking
through.
to me. My family is like, how the fuck did you get through
I was
that?
actually
I don't know.
gonna ask about that because
Yeah.
like the idea of like you've quit this thing, now you can like self-harm really bad and fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I kind of I feel like if a family member dies, I'm like really excited to smoke again. Like that's probably like sort of vibe. But I don't know. That's we'll
You're
see.
just hoping you're.
I need a reason.
No, I just mean like
Yeah, I know, I get it. Yeah,
There's obviously like certain limits and like certain things. It's just, but I know that for right now, like this is so good for me.
we covered lots of horseshoe theories today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoking versus not smoking, smoking versus vaping, alcohol versus smoking.
Yeah.
inbred versus outbred.
I think the horseshoe theory is that if you're an ugly loser, doesn't matter if you smoke and drink or if you're sober, you'll still be an ugly loser.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
unfortunately.
don't think we actually fleshed that idea out.
I think we did. I think that's the takeaway from this whole
And
episode.
Nick is showing up.
he's
Whoa.
got the gun.
Oh,
got
put
the-
the gun away.
Green dot.
Do I have to yell at Nick on horseshoe theory?
What?
Is that
Are you afraid? You know it doesn't.
I know. We've talked about this. I just.
That's a lot.
I don't like the noise.
That's a lot of power.
I don't like the noise.
It's
I
startling.
don't like the noise. Anyway, shoot them. They're the fucking guests.
Ugh.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all poison.
No. Do it. And that's the real horseshoe theory. And bang.